topic. I've just taken the mass 1 hour before, and now I'm taking the one act play is also a part of dramatic type and comes in the category of background to the study of English literature. So, how the one act play started? Let us discuss about the origin first. So, the history of the one act play dates far back to the early mystery and miracle plays, uh, which at first were quite brief. Several little plays could be combined to form a kind of cycle, and from this, the development of the full length drama was a natural process. The interlude of the later 15th century was also brief and was never intended to rival the growing drama power. As the later developed, the short play declined till it vanished for a while from the English stage. It reappeared for a time in the farce of the 18th century and came to a more vigorous life in the 19th. The generous playbills of 100 years ago often contained two short pieces as well as two lengthy dramas. At a later period, the standard program at a London theatre consisted of the full length play preceded by a one act piece, usually of a different nature, which was called a curtain raiser. This was often ignored by people who were interested only in the main item. And early in this century, it disappeared altogether uh, as part of an ordinary production, though a short play was still frequently used to vary the turns in the program of a music hall. The form had not, however, completely vanished from the commercial theatre, for the evening entertainment sometimes consisted of three one act plays by a single dramatist. For example, Sir James Barrie, The Will, The 12-Pound Look, and The Old Lady Shows Her Medal. Shaw too could confine himself to its narrow limits, as in The Man of Destiny and The Dark Lady of the Sonnet. And in more recent times, a very popular playwright, Noel Coward, drew large audiences with what is called a triple bill in Tonight at 8:30. Nevertheless, the short play in today is much less popular than it used to be, though it is well supported by amateur dramatic society because a group of one act pieces does not strain their resources and gives most of the members a chance of playing a fairly prominent role. Technique: the one act play stands in the same relation to the drama as the short story to the novel. It is not a full length play in miniature, just as the short story is not an abbreviated novel in outline. It is a form by itself with laws of its own, and an author may shine in this field, though she may fail in a longer play. It is wrong to suppose that the one act play is easier to write than the full length play. The artistic difficulties are equally great in both cases, or perhaps greater in the one act play. People think that writing shorter pieces is easier, but pieces are also very difficult because you have to saturate all the ideas into short form. The author of a full length play has room to turn in. The shortcomings of the exposition may be atoned or for by the brilliance of the complication or the denouncement. The one act play is too brief and compact to admit of this. It imposes severe restriction on the playwright. He cannot develop his character and situation gradually, making use of the cumulative touches which a full length play can introduce. He must present the people and the story with a few suggestive strokes. Uh, he must use his dialogue as carefully as a man of limited means uses his income. Each sentence must contribute something. Brevity is the soul of the one act play. Brevity in plot, which cannot be complex. Brevity in characterization, which has to be immediately evident. And brevity in dialogue, which must be significant from the beginning to the end. This is not to say that so short a piece cannot be profound, subtle, or poetic, for we can only to think of the work of Barry and Shaw and Yeats, Lands of Heart, Desire, or Kathleen and Hawthorne. The medium certainly lends itself particularly well to grim or comic themes, but in the hands of a master, it can be used to leave an abiding impression of nobility and beauty. It may be noted how nearly the one act play approaches the classical concept of the dramatic art. It has a single main episode and is either a pure comedy or a pure tragedy. The time of the action is equivalent to that of representation. The time of the and it is confined to a single place. The unities are not, of course, adhered to out of respect for the ancient standard, but because a short play almost automatically fits into its framework. Simplicity of design and immediate impact are the quality on which it depends for its success. So, Goober 2008 is saying, "Hi, are you a student?" Uh, uh, there is a yes, Maruf Hussain, you are saying that nowadays it is mostly good people who suffer, but in the there is also something called as karma, and whatever we do comes in a reverse way. There is a somebody, Josh Gatter. Indian should not act smart when they are not even okay. This is a racist comment, and nowadays when the bridge between the oriental and occidental world are becoming less, and people from all over world are communicating with each other and working each other, this kind of superiority is not accepted. So whatever you are, you think, if you think that you are from the oriental world and you can say anything, then this kind of thinking is apartheid thinking, and we don't accept it. So thank you everyone. This person is Josh Gatter, who has posted a racist comment. So thank you everyone.